Space, the final front page. We're about to take a journey through column inches and timelines to explore the darkest corners of fake news and seek out undiscovered stories, boldly reporting where no one has reported before. Rock and Roll Hall of Famers Pink Floyd are one of the most successful British exports of all time, with 6 #1 albums and over 250 million sales worldwide. They shifted more units than David Bowie and Britney Spears combined. Celebrated as early originators of progressive rock, they've won Grammys, BAFTAs, and produced surrealist cult film Pink Floyd The Wall, missing out to E.T. in topping the box office charts. The scale of their groundbreaking live performances are legendary. They're one of the first bands to travel with a dedicated light show, toured with a 40-foot-long inflatable pig called Algae, and shot paper sheet from cannons into the crowd, symbolising political exploitation and oppression deep-rooted in their music. The band arguably courted controversy, with splits, lawsuits, and even a boycott by the then apartheid government of South Africa. So to commemorate 50 years of Pink Floyd, London's V&A Museum is holding an audio-visual journey entitled The Pink Floyd Exhibition, Their Mortal Remains. I went to speak to the band's cultural director, co-founder of the design company Hypnosis, and the man behind some of the most iconic album art of all time, Aubrey Powell.
And what saddens me about a lot of today's musical stars is there's none of that aggressive political stance. And it's time, as far as I'm concerned, music hit the streets and the people hit the streets.
When does art become activism, and activism lead to lasting change? Well, I'm here on the Brixton Revival Trail, a collaboration between London Design Festival, independent businesses and creators, preserving Afro-Caribbean culture here in the UK and beyond. This year's theme, Love Carnival, goes behind the scenes on design, organisation and the struggle to put on not only Notting Hill Carnival in West London, but carnivals across the country. I've come to meet fine artist, first generation Antiguan and the Trail's facilitator, Alvin Kofi, to discuss the power of art to transcend class and race.
So being an activist, say for instance, recording particular people in our community that are important to us, that stood for something in us, that's what art can do. Celebrating our traditional values, that's important, that's a way of activism. Notting Hill Carnival, I guess, in some ways become a political stage, which plays out because of the things going on in the background. So issues come up like Grenville and will polarize people's minds or focus on a particular point. But really what's going on in our community, the things that need to be resolved are much broader than that. So me personally, I don't take too much note of what the UK government do or don't do, because I know our people will be getting on with it and rebuilding.
With nearly 30 years in the film industry, Academy Award-winning producer Mia Bays has worked on British cult classics Ill Manners and Shifty, plus the critically acclaimed feature Letters from Baghdad. We spoke about her first-hand experience of misrepresentation from London to Hollywood.
In the last few years, we really know that there have been some real issues around representation and discrimination and sexism, and I think it happens around class too, and a lot of it is really, we're really covert about our prejudices in the UK. And it wasn't until I started moving into production that I realised actually I didn't sound the same, that I hadn't been to Cambridge, I hadn't had a private education, and that most other people had.
Co-written and directed by Sean Baker, the Florida project follows the misadventures of 3 kids living on the highway to the most magical place on earth, Disney World, Florida. Starring Oscar-nominated legend Willem Dafoe and a cast of first-time actors, the story is set in a budget motel, now mostly home to America's hidden homeless. I spoke to non-actor Bria Venaite, who was discovered through social media, about her character Haley's experience of poverty, motherhood and temporary accommodation.
Haley is a young mom. She's in her early 20s. She has a 6-year-old daughter named Mooney. She's just trying to figure her life out, and the film is just about her daughter mostly, but it's about her kind of trying to figure out all the struggles without putting them on her daughter.
What do you guys want people to think after they see the movie?
There's a special message, which I'm going to tell you. They should make the world a better place. And they should be really, really thankful that they have a house and they can pay their bills. Because. And they have money and food. And all of that stuff. Just because, you know?
Our politicians are not moral leaders, they're businessmen. And in this case, a businessman that, totally his judgments and his wisdom, totally comes from this kind of capitalist model of beat the other guy. It doesn't exactly make you think as a nation or think as a community. It's all about getting over on the other guy. Something at the heart of competition and the heart of capitalism is, who gets the most stuff at the end.